if you've got an ice machine that is like this one, or maybe it looks similar, one of these portable ice machines, it doesn't matter what brand, they're basically all the same inside and they work in the same way. If your ice machine is broken, it's not making any ice, in today's video, I'm going to show you how to fix it. And luckily for us, it's pretty cheap, simple, and quick to fix. So if you've got a problem where you turn the machine on and the ice bucket inside cycles all the way up and then cycles all the way back down, it doesn't pump any water, and then your machine just sits there and does nothing, I'm going to show you how to fix that problem. And also, if you turn your machine on and the ice bucket just sits in the back and doesn't move, maybe the water starts pumping for a little while and then it stops pumping, and then you hear the compressor turn on and the fan turn on, and you see those little silver prongs frost up and it doesn't make any ice. I'm also going to show you how to fix that problem. And in order to get started, we need to remove the back cover. To remove the back cover and get access to everything inside, we need to remove these 6 Phillips head screws. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now my guess was, because that ice bucket was kind of bending and not really wanting to stop or knowing where to stop, it's going to be one of these 2 limit switches. There's one over there and one over there. So if you have a look at this one limit switch over here, and it's kind of bent out at an angle, and then you have a look at this little limit switch over there, and it's not really bent out at an angle. These 2 switches are the same, by the way. Definitely something has gone wrong with this switch, but of course we will confirm that. These are just normal switches, so we can do a continuity test. So I'm first going to actually go ahead and unclip this back cover, and the reason for that is so that we can get access to this little connector over here, and then remove it from the circuit so that we can do the continuity test on these 2 switches. So I've got the meter set onto the continuity test setting with a little buzzer here. So when you touch these 2 together, you can hear the beeper go off. So basically what we're going to do is test the continuity across the switch. So if I hold the contacts on either one of those contacts there, you can see that there's no continuity. And as I push this little switch lever, we should hear the buzzer. There we go. So you can see that when the switch is in the sort of normal position, it's normally open. And then when this little cam section, when it turns up and pushes on the switch, it completes the circuit. So this should be the same. And let's have a look. So at the moment, if the little buzzer, this little lever here should be all the way out, but we can see that it's not actually. And when it's all the way out, it shouldn't make continuity, and that should be its normal position. And then when it's all the way in, it should make continuity. So let's put these 2 on here. There we go, and we can hear that it's actually busy buzzing at the moment. Whoopsie, sorry, I'm just trying to do things with, I need 3 hands, but I've only got 2. So there we go, you can hear the buzzer going, and the switch is basically in the closed position. And if I try and open it, you can see nothing happens. So this switch is definitely the problem switch. So I reckon all that we need to do is find another one of these. Now I'll see if I can find a link online to where you can buy a replacement one of these. So this looks like the same type of switch. Let's just have a look there. So this thing says on it, it's 5 amps, 250 volts, 5 amps, 125 volts AC, and 3 amps, 250 volts. Now, okay, the rating is slightly less, but I'm going to take a educated guess here and say we're not pulling 3 amps through this little switch, especially looking at the size of this wiring. So I reckon this is going to be fine. And you can see, I don't know if you can actually see this on the switch. I'll try and zoom in here a little bit, but you've got a common, well, there we go, you can see it here. You've got a common, normally open, and normally closed. And the normally closed pin isn't there. And on this switch, you've got a common, a normally open, and the normally closed switch is part of this switch, but we just won't use it. So let's go ahead and unsolder the wires, and we'll put this one in place, screw it back up, and then hopefully the machine just works again. So I'm just taking a bit of solder and I'm going to tin these contacts. Always good practice to tin the contacts before trying to solder onto them. Although we've just covered the holes, but that shouldn't be a problem. So what I'm going to do quickly is just put probably one of these screws back in so that the switch is being held in position while I unsolder that one wire. I actually need 3 hands, but I've only got 2. So let's see if we can get this done. Just using a little long nose thing here. Let's see if we can get that unsoldered. Might need some solder on there. There we go. So we've got the purple wire on the bottom on the normally open contact or terminal, and then we've got the 2 blue wires on the common terminal. There we go. Sweet, I'm getting excited. I really hope this works. Yes, this will be such a simple fix. I'll get that one started. Oh yeah, magnetic screwdrivers. Sometimes they are awesome, sometimes they are a pain. Cool. Ooh, I hope this works. So let's see here if we can get this back in here. Now I did solder those little holes closed. That was very clever. But anyway, I wanted the terminal tinned before. Should just be able to heat this up and push it through. There we go. Okay. So that one's back in, and then oh, come on, there we go. Okay, back to normal. So you should be able to hear this now, just like the original switch up here. You can hear it clicking. Now the new switch. So that does work, and let's just do a continuity test again. So remember this old switch, when it was like this, it is not making any continuity, so you don't hear the little buzzer. So that should be the same case in this case at the moment. So we're touching both terminals, and as soon as I close the little lever or the switch, cool. I think this is going to work. I'm not going to put the cover on yet. We're not going to touch anything at the back here. I'm going to plug it in, and then we'll see if it works. Okay, so there we go. It is plugged in. I don't know if you can see the the switch there. It's like kind of in a standby mode. Oh, it's already moving. Okay. I don't know what it's doing. It's not even on. Okay, so in my excitement, I made a little apprentice error, a rookie move here. Come on. I've just unplugged it again, by the way. It is not working like it should. Now, hopefully you guys can see what's happening here. So we fixed the switches, but I didn't end up plugging the little white plug back in. So let's plug that back in and try again. Take 2. Okay. Busy stretching across the camera here, plugging it back in. There we go. Hopefully you can see what's happening. So it should be in standby mode now, so this light should flash, and that is correct. The bucket should be in that position. Awesome, there it is. First set of ice blocks coming out of the machine. So clearly it is working. Now, they aren't great ice blocks. I think it's got to cycle over a few times, but yeah. Awesome, such a simple fix for such a cheap little switch. So what I would suggest is, because we only replaced one switch, now, you know, this switch was faulty, how much more longer before this next switch goes faulty? So I think what I'm going to do quickly, since I've got a couple more switches on hand, I'm going to change this one out, and then we should be good to go for another couple of years. So replacing this left-hand switch here fixes the first problem that I described, where the bucket cycles up, cycles down, and then stops in the machine and just sits and does nothing. For the second problem that I described, where the bucket stays at the bottom, then the water flows, and then you can hear the compressor switch on and then turn off, and then you see those silver prongs frost up. If that is your problem, then it's likely that this top switch here needs to be replaced because it's gone faulty. So if that is going to fix your problem, I hope it really helps you out. If you are liking the video so far, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if if you want to see more stuff like this. Obviously on the channel we do general repairs and general DIY, so hopefully you guys are finding it useful and entertaining. Also, leave us a comment in the comments section. Have you fixed one of these ice machines before, and you've got other tips and tricks that you want to share with us? Leave that in the comments so that we can all learn, or maybe you also just want to share your experiences about your general DIY repairs. It's always great to hear from you guys. And that's pretty much it. Job is done, and both the switches have been replaced and should get another good couple of years service out of the machine. Now, usually you would go ahead and put the back cover on, screw it back in place, but I see the machine is quite dirty inside, so what I'm going to do is, before I do that, I'm going to give this a good clean, spring clean inside. I'll do that off camera. You guys don't need to see that, that's quite boring. But yeah, give it a good spring clean. Of course, put this plastic cover back on and close it up, and then it'll be good to go. So thanks very much for watching, and if you want to see those other videos about the other repairs of this machine, you can go check it out. I'll link it up on screen somewhere. But thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time. Cheers.